excited to share this video with you because this is a first-time project for me. It is a project where I didn't have specs, I didn't have anything pre-drilled, it wasn't pieces of furniture that came in a box. So this year, one of my main goals has been to take on new projects, learn how to use some power tools, and really do some projects that push me out of my comfort zone so that I can learn how to do new things. I'm wanting to work through my house and go from room to room, area to area, and kind of give things a spruce up, a refresh, and really just make each space within my home a place that I really, really love. I like to figure things out as I go. If you are resourceful, if you are willing to put on your learning cap, if you're willing to ask for help when you need it, you can do anything. We live in a world right now where if there's something that you want to do, you just have to look it up. You can Google it. I used Google throughout this process. I tapped into the resources that I have online. YouTube is such an amazing place to learn new things, new tasks that you didn't think you could do. You absolutely can learn these things. I am really lucky because I have a husband who knows a little bit about a lot of things, and he was able to help me kind of walk through some of the areas where I got stuck. So I was very appreciative of that. But this whole process was a learning experience. I am a learn as I go. I always feel like I can figure anything out. I always ask myself, what is the next best step? What is the next thing that I need to do to get to that final look that I'm going for? So I definitely don't think there's anything wrong with starting a project and not knowing exactly what you're gonna do every single step of the way. I think you can absolutely figure it out as you go. So in this situation, I had an idea of what I wanted. I had an inspo pick. I had a couple of different ideas of how I wanted to kind of change it, tweak it up just a little bit. And I have a hard time communicating with that, finding my words occasionally. Like, I have an issue with being able to explain to somebody what I want. I also like to change things on the fly, and if I have somebody else doing something for me, that's so much harder to do, right? It's hard for me sometimes to take what's in my brain and explain it to somebody else so that they get exactly what I am talking about. So with this situation and so many other situations I can find myself in, it's just easier to do it myself. Another thing about me is that I often overestimate what my ability is, and I underestimate how long something is going to take. This project took several days. It was a lot harder than I had anticipated. The inspo pick that I had used, it was actually a video by the DIY wife. It was her floating shelves video, but she doesn't go into detail about how she makes it. She makes the board, but clearly, if you look at her channel, which is so inspiring, by the way, DIY wife, little plug for her channel, because I love it so much. And I love that she has an idea and then she herself can go in and create that, make it happen for her. So when I was watching it, she kind of gives a little bit of the things that she uses, but she doesn't go step by step on how she created the shelves. I will tell you that I also don't go into super detail about that. You'll see a lot of the process here, but I am going to be doing these shelves in other places within my house for sure, because spoiler alert, I couldn't be happier with how it came out. It's absolutely beautiful, and I can't wait to show you. Another thing that I realized is that I was so unorganized in the process. I now know that I want like a toolbox or a tool caddy. Kind of like when I walk around the house and I clean, I have a cleaning caddy. I definitely could have used something like that. And here's the other thing. So as I was like reaching back in, I can't even tell you how many times I turn to reach back or have to hold something and try and reach really far away for my measuring tape or my pencils. Like, it was a thing. So at one point I did have to stop and organize myself just a little bit to make my life a little bit easier. But you guys, these are things that you learn as you go. I had no idea and would never have thought that I could use a pair of overalls. I wish that I had a cute pair of overalls that I could have put on that had pockets and like the hooks. I've always wondered on cargo pants why they have like that little, it's just like a piece of material that's a hook. Okay, perfect place for a hammer. The pockets that are like right here on your chest, I'm like, perfect place to put screws or perfect place to put a pencil. Like, I could have used a shirt that had 5 million pockets and it would have made my life a lot easier. So from here on and in projects that we move forward with, I will absolutely visualize the whole process. I will do kind of like in my brain step by step. I will try and figure out what screws am I going to use. When I started this project, I couldn't really anticipate what I would need until I kind of got into it. So the next time I do this, I'm going to be so much more efficient with time management. I'm going to have the things that I know I'm going to need on hand. But again, those are things that you learn as you go. So the knowledge that I gained from doing this project, there were some good times and some bad times. There were times when things worked out really, really well, and there were other times when we were like, totally messed that up. We're gonna have to redo it. But again, it's a learning experience and I'm here for it. This was something that I basically built, we built, Rob helped me a ton here, but we built it from scratch. I am your IKEA girl. I can build anything from Target. Like, it comes in a box. It's already pre-cut. The holes are pre-drilled. All you have to worry about is, do you have a screwdriver? Do you have a hammer or a mallet? Like, those are easy things. It's a whole different ball game when you're building it from a vision you have in your brain. Even like, what type of wood do I want to use? What size wood do I want to use? How am I going to brace it to the wall? What am I going to screw it in with? Do I want to see the screws? Like, there are just so many things. However, when you do a project like this and you finish it, and it comes out beautiful. It is like, I feel so powerful. I feel so empowered to do other things. And I think one of the next projects is going to be to do this again in another area of our house. Because here's the thing, the doubt that I had, oh my gosh, I second guessed myself so many times during this process, and you just sometimes got to go with your gut. And that was another thing that whenever I would second guess myself, I would revert back to my original thought and what I thought would work. I would run it by Rob and see what he thought. I would Google it and see if I could get an answer. The guys at Lowe's, they helped me a ton as well. There was a lady at a different Lowe's who helped me when I was trying to pick the wood that I needed. So lots of help out there. And listen, don't ever be ashamed or scared to ask for help. If you need help, ask, because I promise you, well, most times people are absolutely willing to help. I think there are so many more helpful, positive people out there than there are people that you are bothering or give you a negative response. Ask for help. I promise you'll find somebody who is willing to give you their time. Now I know where all the studs are, and I can decide how I am going to want all of these, because these are kind of like rails, and I have to figure out exactly where I want this and how I want to place everything. So now what I'm gonna do is just kind of move the tape. I put the tape on just because I wanted an idea of how large I wanted this. And to be honest, I want it a little tiny bit smaller, and I think it's gonna work perfect for where the studs are. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna move those over and decide where exactly I want them to be. Okay, so we're gonna put one here and then one here. These will be in the studs. This one is basically just gonna be for look. This will make this a little bit more visually pleasing, I think. So what I wanna do is I wanna redo the tape, put it where it's actually going to go, and then redo these tapes that go horizontally so that I can really see where the shelving's going to be. I think that looks amazing. So the other thing, I just went around the house to look for the largest or tallest book we have, and it looks like it's the Homebody book. That is officially the tallest one. So I'm thinking that as long as the shelves can accommodate this size book, we will be good to go.
You just flip it up on the point.
Okay, got it. So big props up to my husband. Rob was so patient. He was probably thinking, what have I gotten myself into? But trying to figure out this speed square was ridiculous. Rob's trick worked eventually, but for some reason it always took several flips every time I tried to use it. I know. This? How do you clean? Shop vac.
Yep, the shop vac.
Okay. So I've just painted, this side is the satin, and then this side is the chalkboard. So I'm just gonna let these sit for a little bit and see which one I like better. I want the one that has the least amount of sheen or gloss. I'm using the Minwax Pre-Stain Wood Conditioner for oil-based stains. It's super easy to use. I painted it on with a foam brush, and then you wipe it off within about 15 to 30 minutes, and then you stain within 2 hours. So here's the thing, pine can be very streaky or splotchy, and this absolutely helps. What stain are we going to use? And this is where I'm always like, oh, what do I want to do? And I am so unsure. And I am stuck between This one right here, which is dark walnut, and Jacobine. I can't make up my mind. My gut's telling me to go with Jacobine, so I think that's what I'm gonna do, but I'm gonna give it another minute, and then I'm gonna choose between this one and this one. Decision made. This is what we're going with. Ha ha! All right. Let's do it. I'm literally just using, it's like a paint rag. I got a big old bag of 50 and I love these. So all I'm gonna do is I like to put my finger in it just so I feel like I have a little bit more control. Oh, I love what stain does to wood. I do. Oh my gosh, look at that. Just gorgeous. Look at just the absolute beauty of the knots. Yeah, oh my gosh, it's just absolutely gorgeous. It's just gorgeous. Love, love, love. So I've just come back from Lowe's. I had to go to Lowe's because we have run into a couple of issues. So in planning everything out, I was originally going to use 2x10 boards, so which means that the thickness of each board would have been 2 inches. But I will say, oh my gosh, absolutely gorgeous. So let me explain. These are the brackets that I have. These holes here are for a number 14. These are a number 14, but look at, and these are the screws that came with all of the brackets that I got. I got these on Amazon. They're perfect and beautiful and I love them. However, here is the problem. So I originally was going to use a 2x10. Our Lowe's didn't have 2x10s. They only had 1x10s. So I ended up getting the 1x10s. And obviously, I cannot screw these into the wood because it'll go right through it. So I needed to get much shorter screws. I needed 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch. Didn't realize that was going to be a problem, but it is. So number 1, I got a whole bunch of screws. So I got number 8, 2 inches, which I am going to use to put the black backboard onto the wall and into the stud. So I got these for that. I also got this countersink set. I know Rob's probably gonna be watching this going, we have that. Maybe we do. I don't wanna have to look for it. So I bought this so that I can countersink it, fill it up with like wood putty, paint it black so we don't even see them. And then I ended up finding, now these are specialty screws. So I didn't realize that in changing my game plan from 2x10s to a 1x10, that it kind of like changed the whole rest of everything, because instead of just getting regular screws, I ended up having to get these specialty screws, which I just had to go to the Lowe's 2 cities over. I went to 3 different Lowe's total to get all of the specialty screws that I needed. So these are the number 14s, so they will fit in these holes right here and not fall through or go through, and they will be long enough so that it won't go through the actual 1-inch board. And then I also got this drill bit. I think it's called a drill bit, so that I can pre-drill so that it doesn't crack the wood. I think that's what I'm supposed to do. I also am pretty positive that we have this But like I said, this was $3. I was like, and the man who was helping me was so sweet. And he was just like, you know, this is what you're gonna need. And I was like, I'll take it. I'll take it. So I am very excited to get this project going, but I will tell you guys, I thought by now, like, I would be done. But the good news is that we really are ready to go. I know where I want everything. Let me turn you around. So these boards are looking absolutely beautiful. Love how this has come out. And I'm not going to do another coat of stain. I was also thinking I should probably put like a coat of polyurethane on them. But you know what? I'm not gonna. I don't want to. It is what it is. And if I need to take them off at some point, they will be removable. So we will do that. These are the last two boards right here. I have finished staining them up. And yes, you saw that if you saw. I'm assuming that you guys would have seen my shirt in that last little bit, because I went to carry this from the kitchen in here and I didn't realize that I hadn't like put the lid all the way down. It's a mess. But the other board, so the other thing was, I also went to go and get a bunch of, well, not a bunch of, but I wanted chalkboard paint. So I realized that here is what I had used, and this is what I got at Michael's the other day. They only had one, so I grabbed it, and I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to use. I had that, and then I also had the satin. I like the chalkboard finish. I like that there was no sheen on it. So, could not find this chalkboard paint anywhere. Again, I went to a couple different Lowe's, I went to a couple different Michael's, could not find it. So I ended up just getting this matte black to paint, or to finish painting the back side. And this side actually is like textured like wood, but I don't care for that. I actually am going to use this side, which is a flat finish. And I like that. So these are a little bit wet, so I just finished them. So I'm gonna leave them sitting. But I wanted to paint the back side because I didn't want any of the white to show. Even though this is gonna be against the wall, you could still kind of see a little bit of the white. And I had run out of the chalkboard paint. So anyways, I painted it matte black. We're just waiting for these to dry, and then I am hoping that all goes well and we're gonna be able to put this all together. I gotta wait for the other two boards to dry. I'm waiting for this to dry. And then we will be able to get this going, because I feel as though I have been out and about for hours today. And like I said, come on Kai, come on buddy. We're waiting for Kai to come in. It's so hot outside too, man. So I really was thinking that by this time, it is, I think, almost 7 o'clock, and I thought by this time I would be like decorating and putting my books on the shelves, and we would be ready to go, but that is not the case, and that's okay. You live and learn, and now I know that there are such things as specialty screws. I have learned so much, and that was the other thing about talking to these guys at Lowe's, is they taught me a lot about screws and what it is you needed, and the numbers, and how 8 is like mostly the general one, the number 8s. And then, so anyways, I'm learning. This is such a process for me. And then wanting to countersink and all the things. So anyhow, I am going to let those sit and finish. I'm gonna take a load off for a minute because I feel like I have been going for hours, and we're just gonna let things dry, and then we'll get everything put together. I figure before I put these up, I'm actually, while we're still kind of waiting for things, I'm gonna get out my touch-up paint, and I'm just gonna touch up some parts of this wall. We had a dresser here, and obviously you can see where it kind of scuffed things up. So we're gonna fix that real quick, and then we're gonna get started.
Nobody told me to settle down. Late nights and late nights don't get around. But there's something about you, something about you I like. You're crazy for saying I should slow down, but maybe I'm escaping the love we found. There's something about you.
I am debating. I've got the 2 up. Here's the 3rd one. I brought a board in just to kind of see. I've got Rob coming down to give me his take, but I don't know. I'm kind of thinking maybe just 2 instead of 3. Man, I don't know. We'll see what Rob says. Here's the size of the board. I'm kind of, I don't know.
I think 3 is stronger. I think 3 is, it'll sag a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I
It'll
see.
prevent it from
I see
sagging.
what you're saying. Okay. Yeah.
Because the weight will be the greatest here now. Because the board's only going to have a little bit of weight here, a little bit of weight here, a little bit of weight, oops, sorry, and a little bit of weight here. This
Okay.
will be the most, and you might have a slight bow and just, it makes it stronger.
Okay. I'm gonna put anchors in when I do this one since there's no stud there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put drywall anchors in that. Okay.
Yeah, you might as well just give it that little bit extra strength because it will have.
Oh my gosh, honey, look at it. Look at it. Like, this is such a pain in the ass, but look at how good.
Yeah, they're good. They're centered. All three are dead center. Stop now, Neat.
And see how the black of these makes it look industrial, like they look metal.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, it looks good. How's the food?
Look at this board. Oh my gosh. I just wanted to double check that the spacing in between was correct and that this is what I wanted. These boards are not screwed in at all. They're just sitting on here. But love the way that this looks down here. So I just went and put sticky, the little notes so that I could kind of see where the next boards would go. And I absolutely love it. I think this is gonna be so pretty when it's done. So what we did was we went in and we only screwed the very top screw in just because I wanted to double check. You guys, this was such like a double guessing myself and switching things up and thinking I might change it, but now that I see it, especially today with fresh eyes, oh my gosh, love. First up, I actually need to come in here and I need to just organize things a little bit because this yesterday was something that absolutely drove me crazy. I had stuff everywhere. I couldn't find my pencil when I needed it. I was very unorganized in the process. So I'm gonna just take a minute and I'm going to organize my space so I know where everything is, and then we'll go from there. It'll make my life so much easier, I think.
In the middle of the night, in this dynamite castle, you and me will be alright.
All right, you guys, I've got all of the boards are setting on. I have got all the screws are in. I'm not gonna lie, there are a couple that are stripped out. It is what it is. I don't even care at this point. But these are here. So I went ahead and I put all the boards on, measured out, the halfway point right in between each board, and I was like, no, because look at how warped these boards are. Like, oh, I'm going, how in the world are we gonna get a screw? I don't know, can you guys see that space in there? And we're gonna have to drill the screws up into it. And these are the screws that I have, but I did the bottom one, and you guys, it pulls the board straight. I'm so happy with it. Like, I couldn't be happier. So this is my favorite board, because look at just how beautiful these knots came out. So I wanted that one to be right here. This was my second favorite board. So I've got that one here. So now it's just a matter of attaching all of these here, and then we're gonna be good to go.
In this dynamite castle, you will never be alone. Indigo sunset, it's the only way to go. I've been waiting for the fallout.
All right, the next thing to do is, so we ended up putting 1 inch longer screws on the bottom of these. So we went ahead and we did that. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with some wood filler. I'm gonna fill this in. I have wood filler here, and then I'm gonna sand it down a little bit, and then I'm going to paint it so that you can't see that bottom. But yeah, oh, my goodness, my shoulders, the workout. But it looks really good.
We'll win in every war. It's a fragrant fire, falling in love, and the wolves stop howling and have come back into its hole.
For watching. I hope you love this as much as I do. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you liked about it. And if you have any tips for me, by all means, I am a newbie here. I am 100% not a professional woodworker, obviously. But I would love any tips, suggestions that you have. I am all ears. Again, thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for future projects. I feel very inspired to do more. And I will redo this in a different room. I have ideas for it for sure. So in that video, the next, I don't know when I'm gonna do it. I can't say for sure that it'll be next week, but it'll be coming down the pipe really soon because I love this look. I feel like the next time I do this, it's gonna be that much easier, but I have some ideas of how I want to do this in other spaces within our home. And in that video, I will be more specific on exactly what I'm using, like the nail size, the screw sizes, all the things. All right, guys, again, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.